Family, in this episode, you're about to hear a story unlike anything we've shared before. A testimony of a woman who walked through poverty, betrayal, spiritual darkness, and survived what should have killed her. But the darkness followed her for years. Because when she was a child, someone she trusted, a pastor she admired, destroyed her life. And so before we begin, let me warn you, this is not an easy testimony. This is the long fight of a young girl who fell into the hands of evil men and later into a spiritual trap designed to break her soul. This is Dangerous African Confessions HD, home of raw confessions, battles, and hidden truths people are terrified to speak about. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment in the comment box. Your thoughts may help someone. Let's begin her journey from a child to a survivor of unimaginable darkness.
My name is Anne, and before I tell you everything that happened to me later in life, I want you to understand where I came from. Because sometimes, the darkness we meet as adults starts from the life we were born into. And for me, my beginning was pain. I grew up in a very poor home. My mother was always moving from place to place, carrying all of us children behind her. We never had a stable house. We slept anywhere we could find. Some nights it was with relatives, some nights in small rented rooms, and other nights, we slept on cold floors because life had pushed us there. From the time I can remember, hunger was my closest friend. I remember days when my stomach would cry louder than I could. Many days we drank water and slept. Many days my mother would leave early in the morning to work in bars, serving people drinks, and she came home late at night when we were already asleep. We were many children, and we were mostly alone. No guidance. No protection. No adult watching over us. And because of this, I grew up feeling like I was nobody's child. I felt like I came into this world by mistake. I felt unseen, unimportant, and unprotected. I never knew my father. Till today, I do not even know his face or his name. Some children grow up asking, "Where is Daddy?" For me, I never even had a picture to imagine. That made the loneliness worse. I went to school for a short time, but because we kept moving, I dropped out in primary 3. I remember watching other children go to school with clean uniforms and food in their bags, and I would stand by the road, wondering why my life was different. That question followed me for many years. When I was still young, everything became worse. My mother fell sick. Her body became weak. One day she just didn't wake up again. That day changed my life forever. I became a true orphan. A child with no mother, no father, and no one to hold me. After she died, my siblings went in different directions. Everyone scattered. Nobody cared where and went. I remember crying alone, sitting outside the house, looking at the sky, and asking, why me? But life didn't answer. Life pushed me forward. For some time, I stayed with different relatives, but I was treated like a burden. Some insulted me every day. Some starved me. Some made me do all the housework. I never felt safe. I never felt wanted. But I kept quiet, because I had nowhere else to go. Then when I was about 13 years old, something happened that changed the direction of my life in a way I never imagined. My older sister told me there was a man who wanted to help me, a pastor. A pastor I admired from afar. A man I believed was holy. A man I respected with all my heart because I grew up believing pastors were like fathers to the fatherless. When she told me I would stay with him, I was even happy. I thought, maybe God has finally remembered me. Maybe this pastor will take care of me. Maybe my suffering is ending. I had no idea I was walking into another kind of pain. The first day I entered his house, I felt safe. The way he smiled, the way he prayed, the way he spoke. I trusted him. I trusted him completely. But that trust was the doorway to my deepest wound. You see, one night when no one else was around, he came into the room where I was sleeping. At first, I didn't understand what he wanted. I was a child. But then he touched me wrongly. He forced himself on me. And he took my virginity that night. I cried, I begged, but he covered my mouth. I couldn't move. I couldn't fight. I couldn't breathe. When it was over, he looked at me and said something that still burns in my mind today. You are staying with me now. I didn't understand what that meant, but the next night, he did it again. And then another night. And another night. 4 times in total. Each time, a part of me died inside. I felt dirty. I felt unwanted. I felt like a child whose voice didn't matter in this world. But I also felt confused, because this was a pastor. A pastor. Someone who preached love, purity, and holiness. Someone everyone admired. Someone I had trusted. I carried that confusion inside me for years. Not long after, my body began to change. My stomach grew. My clothes didn't fit. That was when I realized I was pregnant. A child carrying another child. I remember sitting outside the house one morning, touching my stomach, crying silently. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to explain. I didn't know how a 13-year-old becomes a mother. The shame was too much for me. I felt like I had failed myself. I felt like I had failed my unborn child. I felt like the whole world was laughing at me. But even in that shame, something strange happened. I began to love the baby growing inside me. A child like me, innocent and alone. I promised myself I would protect this child in ways no one ever protected me. But the house became too heavy for me. The pastor kept controlling me. The guilt and pain were choking me. So one morning, without telling anyone, I ran away. I left the house with nothing but fear and a small hope that maybe, somewhere out there, I would find a life that didn't hurt so much. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know who could help me. I only knew one thing: I had to leave, before the darkness swallowed me completely. And that was how my journey into the world began, alone, afraid, carrying a child, and searching for a place where I finally belonged. The truth is, when I ran away from the pastor's house, I didn't have a plan. All I knew was that I had to run. I had to save myself and the child growing inside me. I boarded a vehicle going to city, thinking maybe the city would give me a fresh start. But I didn't know that sometimes, when you escape one pain, you run straight into another. When I arrived in the city of Tokorodi, everything felt too big for me. The noise, the people, the buses, the smell of food I could not afford. I was tired, hungry, and alone, but I kept telling myself, at least I am free. I walked around looking for someone to help me, a place to rest, a cheap room, anything. But the city is not kind to girls like me. The first people who took me in were strangers. At first, they acted friendly, but after a few days, the true colors showed. Some shouted at me. Some made me work without rest. Some touched me wrongly and said, if you want to stay, you must give something. Every night I would cry, holding my stomach, wondering if my baby could feel everything happening to me. After some time, when the pressure became too much, I left the house and found myself outside, surrounded by children sleeping on cardboard boxes. Street children. They looked hungry, tired, dirty, but somehow, I felt safe around them. For the first time in months, I felt like I belonged somewhere. We all had no one. We all had the same pain. That's how I ended up living on the streets. Life became harder than anything I had ever known. We begged for food. We fought for leftovers. We drank water from places we should never drink from. Sometimes we would go 2 days without eating. You see, hunger is a teacher. It will make you do things you never imagined. There were nights when men would call me aside and say, "Come with me, I'll buy you food." And because I was starving, because I wanted my baby to survive, I went. Some men forced themselves on me. Some treated me like nothing. Some didn't even look at my face. Every time it happened, I felt like the world was eating me alive. And then one day, I found out I was pregnant again. Another child. Another innocent life brought into my broken world. I didn't hate the baby. I hated myself. I hated that I couldn't protect my own body. I hated that all I could give my children was pain. Sometimes, when the nights were cold and I had nowhere to sleep, I would go to cheap lodgings, hoping someone would let me stay. But even there, the price was my body. And sometimes, when I was strong enough, I would run before anyone tried to touch me. I slept in unfinished buildings. I slept outside churches. I slept in bus stations. Anywhere the cold wind could not reach my bones. I was losing myself, little by little. Then one day, everything changed. I met a woman named Vivian. She was older than me, maybe in her 30s. She looked neat, calm, and sounded gentle. The moment she spoke to me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: kindness. She bought me food. Real food. When she realized I haven't eaten for days. The first real meal I had eaten in a long time. As I ate, she watched me with soft eyes and said, "You don't belong on the streets. I can help you." Just hearing those words made my heart warm. For the first time in many years, someone saw me. Someone cared. Someone wanted to lift me up. She told me she had connections in Accra. She said there was a job waiting. She said I could earn good money. She said she knew a place where I could stay safely, eat well, and take care of my children. Everything she said sounded like the miracle I had been begging God for. I didn't know that sometimes the devil also comes dressed like a helper. Sometimes the trap looks like love. Sometimes the door to hell is opened by someone who smiles at you. But at that moment, I believed her. I was tired. I was hungry. I was desperate. I wanted a new life so badly that I didn't even question her promises. So when she said, "Let's go to Accra. You'll be safe there," I nodded. I followed. After some few days, we boarded the bus, and as it moved, I looked out of the window and thought, maybe this is the new beginning I've been waiting for. Little did I know. I was being carried straight into a place darker than anything I had ever seen. A place where fear had a voice. A place where souls were broken. A place where my real suffering was waiting for me. I didn't know it then, but the moment I stepped off that bus in Accra, my life entered a chapter one still struggle to talk about today. Because that was the day I was driven to the compound where the true nightmare began.
This is only the beginning of her struggles. Join us in the next episode to hear her bitter testimony. If this testimony touched you or stirred something in your spirit, don't leave without taking action. Subscribe for more real-life stories and hidden truths that many are afraid to speak about. Like this video to push this message to more people. Share it so another young girl can be warned.